Hello. Kind of feeling chill right now. We're gonna listen to this good music, right? It's root chakra music because we're talking about trauma healing and healing. So not necessarily physical, which they are related though, talking about the healing journey in general. Why I'm talking about this, why this is on my heart today, is because I saw a few posts about being trauma informed. It seems to be sort of a new catchphrase in the coaching profession, the healing profession, intuitive profession, this idea that in order to work with other people on healing trauma, you need to have some sort of a training, some sort of a certification, some sort of an education. Hi, Rosina. You have to have something and some sort of certain way to do it, certain method in order to help people heal from trauma. And sometimes it's interesting to me how we do that as humans, right? Humans are funny is like my theme today. Like how we have to put labels on everything. We have to put like a method on everything. Here are the steps. Here's this new method. Here's this new thing. And if I'm going to talk to you, in order for you to really help me and I feel like I can get results, you have to be informed. You have to know this. And I don't know, I feel like we're really moving into a new paradigm of healing, aren't we? Into a new space where I feel like that's old. The old paradigm was that you had to have these certifications, educations, degrees, do all these things. Now, am I saying you're going to go and be a brain surgeon tomorrow because you want to be? No. Okay, there are situations where you need to have certain training and do these things. But when it comes to healing, boy, isn't that such a gray area and such a fine line? And I would hate to see anyone in the healing profession or coaching profession limit themselves, and because they feel like they need to have all these certain things, or there's one way to do it, or they have to do this one way. Because, man, healing is not linear. Just like with spirituality, there's no one right way. It's like a cumulative effect. It's a journey. It's all the things that you go through. You need to do what's aligned with you. And here's the hardest part. This is the part that's really hard. Because you can do, and I recommend it all. This is not even bashing any trauma-informed type of training. Do the EMDR. I did that. I did EMDR. Do the talk therapy. Do coaching. Work with a healer. Do energy work. Do all the things. Do it, right? Do it. And it's funny how sometimes the thing is you never know when you're going to get your big breakthrough. And it may not even be a big breakthrough. It could be a series of little breakthroughs. You just wake up one day and go, wow, wow, I just feel different. I see things differently. I am free from something. You don't know what that moment's going to be. You don't know what the method's going to be. You could just be reading a book one day or talking to someone at a coffee shop, and something about what you read or what that person said, it's like click, and then everything that you've learned, all the work that you've done, all of a sudden just it's like zipping up a zipper. It's like, and it all comes together and you're like, oh, you make the decision, because this is the hardest part about healing right here. And we can talk about this all day long about what works, what doesn't work, what people need to do, and we need to make the decision to heal. If we don't and we have to believe that we can and believe that we are. If we don't, then we're going to get stuck in that endless loop of being traumatized, living in that pain and suffering of previous trauma. Now, I'm not talking about a current situation. If you are in a current abusive situation, you need to do what you need to do to get yourself to safety. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those of us, and I'm with you. I did not live a picture perfect life. I doubt any of us really have, right? I've had my own share of trauma. There are people who are more traumatized than me and less traumatized than me. And I'm not telling you what to do. What I am telling you is to really trust to yourself. What I don't care for is when I see discussions about what you need to do and you need this. It's like, and especially when either like a healer or an intuitive or like a coach or, you know, whoever says you need me and you need what I know in order to heal, because that's not true. That's not ever true. You can find, no matter what any of us have gone through, we can find examples in the world of people who have gone through similar, less or more, and have gotten through to the other side. They have set themselves free. They are thriving instead of surviving. So many stories out there. What I find when I look at that, stories like that, and I'm not invalidating anybody's trauma, that's the thing. Any practitioner, I don't care how many, if you're taking trauma-informed classes or whatever the fuck or not, the bottom line is you need to be a good human. If you're gonna work with healing people, what I feel can set people back is the invalidation of them. And they need to be heard, seen, validated for what they've been through. And just because they might have been through, there's no such thing as less trauma or more trauma, I guess. You know, it's all what we believe, and it's all what we've been through and how we perceive it and how we're handling it and how it affects us. There's no way to say. So when you're working with someone, you're validating that yes, you've been through trauma. You know, as I have, as you all have, as you know, we've been through something and it's still affecting you. So how are we going to really allow those parts of you to be seen? Because once they're seen, they can be brought to the surface and let go of. Doesn't mean there's no end point, by the way. There's no end point, like I'm healed. So that's another thing, like what is all this stuff? Like I'm healed? There's none. You're gonna keep being on this journey for the rest of your life. And there're gonna be moments where you regress. And there's gonna be moments where you feel like it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and then 10 steps forward, and then 2 steps back. It's the point of self-awareness that you're getting to. The self-awareness, but the hard part, like I said, is choosing to believe that you are more powerful than anything else. Choosing to believe in a power that is greater than you, whatever you want to call it, God, universe, source, because that energy exists in you. And that means that you can choose to transcend whatever you want. And it's not positive thinking your way through it. That's like saying positive thinking is like, it's not happening. It didn't happen. I'm fine. No, like that's not it. It's not a bypass. It's just saying, this hurts. This hurts right now. I'm going to be willing to look at this, and I'm going to be willing to do the work, and then I'm going to be willing to let it go so that I can transcend and go to my next level. Because if we don't choose to do that, we could do all the EMDR, we could read all the books, take all the courses, talk about our past over and over and over again and analyze how much it sucked, because we know this. But if we don't choose to say, I'm going to love myself through it anyways, I'm going to believe that there is a greater power that's going to have my back, and I'm going to be grateful and carry on. This isn't blaming and shaming, by the way. If this is triggering you and you're like, victim blaming, shaming, no. Because victim blaming, shaming is like, your trauma is your fault. It's your fault you were traumatized. If you didn't put yourself in that situation, or just get over it. Get over it. Like, no. That's like, no. No, that's not okay, because what I am saying is that you are absolutely empowered to think differently and to leave the trauma in the past where it is. Like, trauma's like, and for me at least, I'll speak from my own experience, like PTSD and trauma is when I carry those feelings from my past into my present moment. And sometimes it's unconscious. My body, I'll notice during the day that I'm breathing very shallowly, or my shoulders are like rocks, rock hard. So your body may still be in fight or flight a lot. This is what I'm working on hardcore right now, because I have to remember I'm in control. I'm in control. Not my abusers, not like, my past. It's no longer the present situation. I'm in control. So I'm going to do what I need to do to reprogram my nervous system to try to get back to a calm parasympathetic state where it should be. But I'm not going to beat myself up over it at how long it takes. That's my journey. but I'm willing to be on it, and I'm willing to say that I want to heal and that I am getting better. I'm willing to say that I want to let this go, and I want to let all the work in. I want to let it in, and I want to implement what I've learned, and I want to just do it and let it take effect. Because if I say, no, this isn't working, no, or I say I'm still feeling it, so I'm still traumatized, that's it, like I can't get out of this, I'm going to stay. I am choosing to stay there. Not a blaming state. If that's your journey, that's your journey. And I don't judge anyone for where they're at. See, that's the thing about being a practitioner, a healer, coach, whatnot. Like, you need to be with people where they're at, and respect where they're at. Because everyone's going to deal and heal in a different way on their own time frame. And if any practitioner forces you to speed that up, it's fake. It's bypassing fake, and you're just going to go back again. Okay, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like slapping the Band-Aid on something that needs stitches or that needs more care. Like, it's the infection underneath is still going to be oozing. Just as a Band-Aid will be there for a little while, eventually it's gonna fall off, and you're gonna be like, this still hurts. Okay, so it's like, so the hardest part is just allowing the work in and making the decision that I'm not going to use my trauma as an identity anymore. It's not part of my identity. It's part of my history. It's part of my story. I'm not gonna bypass it, forget it, ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist. It is part of me, but it's not my identity in the present moment. Being in the present moment, in my opinion, really is such a good balancer. Like, if you want to not stress over the past and not stress over the future, if you live here or there, you're going to be fucking stressed constantly. So it's such a practice to be in the present moment. And if it was that easy for us, we wouldn't have all the self-help that there is, okay? So it's a journey, and it's a practice over and over and over again. But remembering that you're safe in your body, you can be safe in your body, you can heal, and you can take all the work, and you never know what's going to be your thing, what's going to bring your breakthrough. You don't know, so keep trying and keep doing and be open to anything. Like I said, it could be just you like doing all this work, and then you're watching a sunrise one morning, and it's like it all comes together, and you're like, holy shit, now I get it. Now I'm willing to shift. Don't know what that moment is for you. It's that moment of shift to I'm traumatized, or I'm not healing, or I'm held back, or I'm stuck, or I'm overwhelmed, or I can never get past this. Nothing ever works out for me. It's like shifting to possibility, empowerment, shifting to a place of just higher consciousness and self-awareness. I know when the trauma response is coming now. I know what it feels like. I know what I think. I know when those thoughts come. And then what is the best way for me to handle it? What self-care do you need to do? Who do you need to talk to? Maybe it's time to talk to your therapist, or it's time to talk to, what do I need to do? And this is not to do alone. Allow yourself to have support. But it's hard. The hardest part is getting to that self-awareness, where that radical acceptance and self-awareness, and being willing to let go of that identity of someone who has to always overcome something, or has to always be healing for something, or always fighting against that trauma. It becomes a real comfy sweater, I'll tell you that right now. I lived there for decades. It's a nice comfy sweater to live in that space. Because once you take it off, it's a lot of work to stay in that's like feeling naked for a little bit. It's a lot of work to readjust and be able to be in the present moment, and to not be able to see the world through the eyes of someone who is empowered, who understands that, who believes in the power of source, spirit, God that's greater than me, that will guide me, protect me through everything, and that I can trust my own inner guidance. That's work. That is work. And the trauma, like I said, it's not over. The healing is always going. It's always going. So the pressure on ourselves that we put on ourselves is insane. The pressure, so in the judgment that we put on ourselves, we have to be willing not to judge ourselves anymore too. It's all hard work. The self-talk is the hardest work. going to therapy and doing those things, those are, I think it's easier but then when we leave the therapist's office, what do we do then? What happens then? We have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in the power of the work. We have to be willing to be self-aware. We have to be willing to accept ourselves right where we are and be willing to do the work, whatever helps you, do the work in order to transcend to your next level if you really want to live your best life, whatever that is, whatever that means to you. I don't know. But I love y'all. I really do. I love y'all. And you have so much power, even if there is like literal brain, like, injuries or connections, neural pathways that are damaged because of a mental illness or mental health condition. It's amazing what the body can do when the body, mind, and soul are working together. It's not just positive thinking your way. It's not just, there's a lot more to it, but it's so powerful. And to limit ourselves to thinking that because of genetics, because of like whatever, because that we're just limited because of that. And it's going to take forever to heal, or it's not going to really happen, or you need to do this and this and that, or healing's not possible. I'm not going to limit any of you to that. You can absolutely be on your healing journey and make tremendous progress and live a life of so much more freedom, that your body feels better, the tension in your body feels better, the tension in your mind, the self-talk. You can, like, when you start to really manifest what you do want, because boy, when we're in that trauma space, do we manifest sometimes things we don't want. Not saying it's like everything is our fault. It's just like, wow, we can attract some real interesting people and situations when we're in that space. So, but we don't have to live there. We don't have to stay there. We're not, that's no. So just know this. And I know this probably is making like little sense, going all over the place, but I just, sometimes when I see social media in a way that seems so limiting to me, it just gets me going. Just like, I feel like it's just so limiting. We so badly want to put labels and processes and this and that and tell people what they need to do, keep them in a limited mindset of, you have to do this. This is the only way. And this constant space of overcoming and coming out of trauma and being so sick and like not invalidating anybody's experiences. I've been through this, been through stuff, and sometimes I'm still there. But I promise you, when you really believe that it's possible and make that mind shift to seeing the world as an empowering place, or see it as a safe place, or see it as a place of abundance, it's amazing how that works. Like, not fluffy bullshit. Not fluffy bullshit. Especially friggin' now, we need that more than ever. Because it looks like all around us is lack, scarcity, or scarcity coming, or people taking you over, mind games, mind control, and like, talk about pressing the trauma buttons. Social media and regular media is like boom, 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 boom. I don't like that. I don't like marketing through trauma. I don't like that. I don't like it. It's just like, no, what if we don't do that anymore? What if we don't talk about healing from our pain points and talk about it from truly empowering points? Infuse it with light and just say, you're not alone. There is a way out. It's gonna take some time, and that's okay. It's gonna take some time. And we're gonna have moments when it feels like shit. Like the healing journey is not all fucking cupcakes and rainbows. That's okay too, because guess what? You're not gonna die. You're gonna absolutely be able to get through this and feel those feelings and release all of that your body has been holding on to and tried to protect you so much. Your ego and your body is trying so hard to protect you by keeping you in this like fight or flight space. Like, maybe if I just stay here, and if I'm just constantly like in this place of pain, then it'll be safe. Even though we know it feels like crap logically, we're like, it just becomes comfortable, becomes normal. It's our normal. doesn't have to be. And it's a lot of work when it's not. Because we have to make a lot of shifts in our lives. And we have to be ready to receive. We're so used sometimes to not receiving good things that it's like, I don't like that. That feels weird. That's good things. Or that's like, that feels too chill. I don't like that. I realized last year how addicted I was to feeling stressed. That was like my next level. I'm like, oh my God, it was when I started drinking my dirt. And this is not a dirt conversation, but it was earlier this year when I started drinking it. I'm like, and I started waking up like pretty chipper. I was like, oh my God, I've been so addicted to waking up in a negative space and not looking forward to the day. Or I was actually more addicted than I thought to being exhausted and being sick and being overwhelmed and being like, oh God, what's gonna happen today? And just like, I didn't realize I was thinking like that. I thought, I'm a healer, I'm a coach, like I'm pretty positive, I don't need that. But I was totally keeping and then when I would wake up thinking that, my body would be like, it would like tighten up, my shoulders, my back, my neck, my chest. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm having a Lyme flare. I'm having a babesia flare, or maybe it's mold, like it feels tight to breathe, or it feels my chest feels tight, or maybe I'm like, no, it's actually me in fight or flight all fucking day. And I'm not saying like the illnesses aren't real. I've had them. I'm still healing. Like it's fine. Facebook. But sometimes it truly is fight or flight. That's Crystal. And I had to learn the difference. And I'm still today learning the difference between this is my fight or flight and this is actual symptom flare up. But I shouldn't even go there because that's a whole video in itself that I'm super passionate about right now. Super passionate about, because I feel like people, and let me go take more supplements, let me do this and let me do that, and it's like we didn't actually need that. And then why do I still feel like shit? Oh my God, I can't even go down this tangent. You all know me. I come on with one topic and I end up going down 3 different topics, but this is my passion right now, is healing, knowing the difference between a parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. Oh, and sometimes it's not our chronic illness talking. Sometimes it's not. Fuck, because that's amazing. Wow. Okay, so, and Crystal said, this happens to me still. Isn't it crazy? My body sometimes doesn't believe that I'm healed or healing. Yes, and I wouldn't let myself believe that because I was comfortable. I was used to being in this space. I was so used to it. And I just thought, no way, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make it, why would I want to, no. Don't blame shame. Don't play with me. Like, no, I was staying there. I wasn't letting it in. Shit, dude. Because now when I don't let it in, I gotta show up in the world differently. When I don't, it's like, it's work. It's beautiful work, right? It's beautiful work at the end, and it's so freeing. That's what we all want, isn't it? Freedom. That's what we all want. Down deep. Whether it's financial, physical, emotional, whatever. Freedom. We are meant to be free. And this is not political. We are meant to be free beings. Shit. And the cage we put ourselves in is just like, wow. But, I'm not going to beat myself up over that shit. Then we beat ourselves up over that. And we go this whole like, getting into shape has changed my life, but still have healing to do mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Yeah. Yes, Paula, like every little step you take goes towards that. That guides your decision making. Every little step that I take now, every decision I make, does this go towards my mental, physical, spiritual, or financial healing? If the answer is no, I'm not going there anymore. But I used to be so addicted to being there that I would either make decisions that would just keep me in this cycle, or I don't know, I would just not do anything. It would be I'm too overwhelmed. I'm gonna like, And it's just like, wait a fucking minute. Wait a damn minute. I can choose differently. And I know it sounds cliche and simplistic, but no, it can't be. It is, but it's not. Here's like this fine line. It is, but it's not. Because you can do all the classes and courses and all the methods and do all the things, but at the very end of that, the very end of all the work comes a decision to shift. And that's, I think, where we fall back. We just make that decision to not, for some reason. So, but I respect when you don't. I hate tough love, man. I don't do it. Don't come to me as a coach or a healer if you want tough love, because I won't do it. And if you think this is tough love, I invite you to just, okay, that's if you want to think that, that's cool. But I invite you to, because tough love would be like, get over it. Get over it. You know what? It's you holding yourself back. Get over it. You know, all these different things are like, yeah, don't you realize that you can just fix it now? Just do it. You might not be ready to do it. I respect that. I wasn't ready to. I'm 50. I wasn't ready to do it. And I used to beat myself up for that. Like, oh my God, I'm 50, I'm old. Why didn't I realize this when I was 20? There it is. I would sabotage myself. There's another beauty. Have any of you ever done that where you're like, wow, I just broke through in consciousness. Why didn't I know that when I was 20? Imagine what my life could have been like if I knew that in my 20s. Well, shit, I trust the higher power and say, if I was meant to know that, if I was supposed to know that, I would have. But I have to trust that I'm here on this journey that I'm on. Do you ever see people who are like in Ecuador or like, you know, other countries where they live in really difficult conditions? Like they live in cardboard boxes and they don't have clean water and they have done these things and they're happy as anything. And you see videos, they're so grateful just to be alive. They sleep on like legit, like dirt and sticks, and they're so grateful. And you talk to them and people will be like, why are you so, why? They just live in their best life. Like, and they're like, because God. That's it. That's all they say. I've seen this. And you don't have to believe in God per se, like whatever it is you believe in, but like that's it. They're like, they believe that a higher power has their back and that they just know that they're living what they're supposed to live and they're being in the present moment and they're just going to, I don't know, what is that? What is that? It's just like, oh my gosh. Ugh, that just like gets me in the heart. It's just like, oh, what a lesson that's humbling. Like, we have to make that choice to trust. If I was supposed to know that when I was 20, if I was supposed to not be in that relationship, I wouldn't have been in that relationship. I didn't have the awareness and I made the choice. So I guess like, and I'm not saying like, oh, we're supposed to be abused or I was physically abused before. Okay. So more than once. Okay. So I'm not saying it was my fault. Okay. Cause someone else was choosing to be a really like not a good human. Cause if you're going to like do that, you know, but that's part of my story. And what did I learn from that? I had a lot to learn from that. And I lived in that space for a long time. Where I thought my self-worth was defined by things that I don't feel, that I know aren't true anymore. But I won't digress. I trust my guides 100%. I know where I'm supposed to be. Yes, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. That keeps me in the healing space. I am right where I'm supposed to be. Even if I regress today, even if I feel amazing tomorrow, I am right where I'm supposed to be. Because if I don't believe that, then my mind goes, then I'll go crazy. Then I'll just be like, oh my God, what the fuck am I even here for? Been doing it now 48 this month. Allie is 48. You look like 28, girl. How do you do that? So Christy says, yep, I catch myself doing this sometimes. Yeah, we all do. It's like self-forgiveness, self-love, self-forgiveness, self-awareness on steroids. And it's like, I'm going to put my energy towards that now. That's where I'm putting it, you know? And for those of you who don't go through this process, bless you. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy. Like, teach a class on that. This is, but this is the journey. And I want everyone to feel like you're not alone. You're not alone by any means. And you're right where you're supposed to be. Beating ourselves up does nothing. Or having an identity of pain, suffering, illness will keep us stuck there. And it's empowering to know this, not blaming you to say it's your fault, you're sick, it's your fault. Empowering to say, wow, so I have the power to get out of this if I want to. Damn, that's good. That's good. That's freedom. That's awesome. That's empowering. Always gonna be that place. So from the time we were children, we were taught that women were supposed to act a certain way, to be a certain way. Now I say, fuck them. I am who I am, meant to be, and nothing will get in the way of that again. That is a whole other video too. Like women, what we're programmed for, what we've been programmed for. Men too, like on both sides, programmed for certain things. Neither programming was designed to serve us at all. And now people use that programming to shame us even further, or, you know, use it as, oh, you've been like, oh, I can't even, I really can't, to make you fearful of like, oh my gosh, like men are like that I did a video on this, like men are being programmed to be weak and like ladylike or whatever the fuck. It's like, what if men always had a side to them that was softer, and they're just letting it out more now? And it's okay if they don't pick up a spear and go hunt and gather for a day. What if that's okay if they want to sit by the fire and play with the children? It's okay. It's okay. Like, we can all coexist together, because there are no gender roles in the spirit world. So who's to say? Damn human experience. What are you labeling us all for? This is interesting. All right, I love y'all. I'm going on so many tangents. I just want to sit with you guys today. I want to sit with y'all. This is the thing. This is the hardest part about healing, is there's no one right way. And when we know that, we're open to all possibilities. Be open to all possibilities, but make the decision to shift. At some point, you're going to have to make that decision to shift. So, and also make the decision that sometimes pain is part of the process. Pain doesn't mean you're traumatized forever. Pain doesn't mean you're going to die. Pain doesn't mean you're going to go down a black hole and never come out. It's okay. We're both feminine and masculine. Yes. See Wonder Woman? She's like, yeah, I'm just gonna, that's the old Wonder Woman. She does this, where the new one has that big shield and she's like, fuck off. But anyways, I love y'all. Any questions you have for me, you ask. I don't have my Facebook group anymore for now. I've closed it while I'm going through my own evolution. Whether I'll have it back, I don't know yet, but I wanted to just be with everybody here on my page when need be, and ask, message me, anything you want to know about the dirt, anything else I'm doing, just ask. Healing work, coaching work, whatever. I'm here for you, all right? Mwah. I love you all so much. I am so honored and humbled to be in your presence, and that you give your time to me, because your time is so valuable. And I'm just so grateful to know such powerful beings, because you are all-knowing, all-powerful, all-loving. That's it. That's all I have to say about you. All right, love you.